I have a crazy story to tell you guys, and this is for all the entertainment lawyers out here. So a friend of mine just called me and said one of his really good friends passed away. Unfortunately, he had cancer. I said, oh my gosh, my condolences, right? And he's like, I'm kind of in a pickle right now. I said, what do you mean? He said, in this guy's will, he was a co-writer of my friend. The guy said once he dies, all of his copyright, the publishing, all the songs they wrote together, he was going to give it to his friend free and clear. How nice is that? His friend is like, wow, that's really nice, that's really generous. They kind of talked about it over the years. So then when my friend, his publisher, went to go register those songs, the other 50%, there were about like 30 songs or so they had co-written, and they've made, I don't know, maybe a few $1,000s, over a year's time. And when they went to register it, they literally hit a roadblock. And they're like, huh? So the friend owned the publishing, right? But here's the issue. The publishing, that 50% of that belonged to the friend that passed, was being administered by a label for foreign royalties. So my friend's publisher said, hey, we can only collect in the United States. So then they hit up the label and they're like, hey, the friend passed, he is transferring the rights over to me. And they said, no, he had to notify us and put that in the will that he was allowed to do that because we're not going to allow that and we're going to collect foreign international royalties. And my friend's like, what? The songs only make a few $1,000s a year. So now his entertainment attorney has to write a very nice letter and say, hey, here's the will. Unfortunately, the friend didn't include it. It's only a few $1,000s a year. They're getting 10% of that. So it's like a few $100s. Please, can you revert that to my friend? And so his publisher can collect just in case of sync licenses, because if sync licenses come through, they cannot agree international, only collecting in the United States, which is kind of a weird scenario this is in. So what happens now? Basically, my friend has to wait, the attorney has to wait, and hopefully the label does the right thing and says, hey, no problem, here's the agreement. You can have it now under your own publishing company. We will not administer it anymore. However, I don't know with labels being a little bit sketchy, who knows what will happen, but I hope they do the right thing. But in your will, in your trust, make sure you're very, very specific, especially when it comes to copyrights, whether you're buying them or they're transferred to you. You have to make sure that all of the rights, everything is spelled out, because you might get into this scenario, which is crazy.